Alright, a very good evening once again, everybody. Welcome to the flight deck here with Captain Nabs, and we are going to be doing another flight here in my pilot's life career here, of course, in the fantastic Aerosoft CRJ. It's a fun airplane. I've always enjoyed flying it. I have only flown it for a little while, but I have enjoyed flying it for the duration of time that I've been flying it. So, yeah, we're gonna go ahead and do another couple of legs of my pilot life career here on this airplane. So, and as always now, I also get to be here with you directly, hosting you through this whole episode here, anyways, of A Pilot's Life. So, today what we're going to do is we are going to do a repeat of what we tried to do last week, and then of course the sim failed me when I tried to do it, which really kind of frustrated me, and I ended up just killing the whole stream at that point. So, but I'm sure you guys have all been there with a sim fail that something doesn't work after you spend 40 minutes setting up the airplane, and then you realize something's not gonna work, and the airplane needs a restart, and it gets to that point where you're just like, I just don't have it in me to do the whole setup again and get going. So we're going to redo that leg again. So that leg that we tried to do last week, and we're going to have to do this week to get it over and done with, is from Sioux Falls, South Dakota here, KFSD, back to Chicago O'Hare, our home base and our hub for this particular schedule anyways. So that's our flight for today. It's not a particularly long flight. It's about an hour and 20 minutes, I think, in the air, maybe even just a little over an hour. I've got the flight plan right here. It says an hour 12. In the air. Of course, it is Friday night, so it's Friday night ops on the VATSIM network, which means it's going to be busy. Chicago O'Hare is one of the 3 featured airports in the Friday night ops tonight. They're featuring 3 of the largest airports in the U.S. Chicago O'Hare, Atlanta, and DFW. I think between the 3 of them, they have something like 15 runways or something like that. So they're really featuring like the big multi-runway airport operations today. So we're going to sneak in from the Northwest. We're not going to be part of that per se, but we're going to sneak in. There's going to be ATC here in Chicago, and the nice thing is that actually where we are right now in Sioux Falls, we actually fall under Minneapolis Center, and today Minneapolis is not online, at least as of the last check, which was a minute or so ago. It was not online, still not online, which is kind of good for us because that means there's no possible ground stop. They can't. Nobody can tell us not to take off because there's nobody here to tell us. We're just going to take off on our own and get ourselves airborne. So that's what we're going to do tonight. So I thought I would do it again in the evening. I know that some people can't make it in the evening, and they like the Saturday morning streams, and I kind of like them too. But it's kind of nice just to be here in the evening because we get the ATC, and that's something that's been missing on so many of my pilot life legs. Is when I do them in the morning, oftentimes there's very little VATSIM ATC online. So I wanted to do a few legs now, especially because these are shorter legs, and I can kind of squeeze them in an evening, do them in the evening, and get this VATSIM ATC when it's there. So that's why I'm here. That's why I'm doing it tonight at this time. It's a little bit unusual. I know that not everyone can make it, and it's disappointing, but hopefully some people can make it anyways. So that's what we're doing tonight, and then depending on how things go, we may or may not even follow up with another leg. So after we go back to Chicago, we're supposed to turn and go to Charlottesville, which is in West Virginia, I believe. Virginia or West Virginia. I believe it's West Virginia. But anyways, that's where we're supposed to go. So it'll be about another hour and 20 minute flight out of Chicago again. So we'll see how long it takes us to get into Chicago. If it takes us way too long, we'll say our duty day is going to be ended, and we'll head back to the gate, head back to the hotel or the home or whatever, and then come back another day to do it. But we'll see how time goes. So I'm going to try and set this up relatively quickly because I did this all last week too. That's the thing. It's deja vu. I did all this last week, and we had a maintenance issue. Basically, what happened was the thrust levers were not registering in the sim for whatever reason. And it was funny because even in the setup, in the sensitivity setting, you could see the thrust levers were moving when you were moving the thrust levers, but the CRJ refused to recognize that they were moving whatsoever. But the funny thing was that the CRJ, even when you tried to use the mouse to move the thrust levers, they wouldn't move. So there was something going on with the input that day to the CRJ. So I rebooted the airplane right away, and I retried it again, and it was working fine. So just something the way it booted up, it did not like what was going on. So anyways, so yeah, here we are in our CRJ under the American Eagle paint scheme brand, operated by SkyWest. And again, I love the detail in this airplane. If I can just even zoom in a little bit here, like you look at the detail in some of these things here, and it's fantastic. The individual decals here, the floor lighting, all this stuff is really good, and you can see right through the airplane, of course, to the service door on the other side. You've got the AOA vane. I wonder if the AOA vanes actually move in flight. That'd be interesting to see. But just the level of detail, the paint jobs, the you know the nuts and bolts of the airplane, the seams and everything. The only thing about these airplanes, and one thing that I think PMDG does a better job than a lot of other people, is these airplanes are all like brand spanking new, like straight out of the factory, not a chip on the paint, not a dent in the airplane, and the real airplanes do not look like this. The real airplanes are full of dents and chips, and they just they look absolutely terrible. So it's just the nature of the business. The airplanes just never stop moving, and they just take a beating. People are just constantly using them, and it's not that anyone is intentionally mishandling them, but just simply just the sheer volume of flying that they do. I mean, they're going to eventually hit birds and hail. You know, occasionally people are going to slip and fall and hit something, or and the paint's going to chip off eventually when things get hit enough times, and there's enough rain and hail sprayed at high speed on these airplanes, eventually paint chips. So they look this shiny for about the first 3 days out of the factory, and then that's about it. Then after that, they just go downhill. So that's one thing that PMDG, I find they do. They tend to model the weathered look. Although that being said, like looking at the door here, it does look like they are kind of modeling the weathered look on the door a little bit here. The textures on the door look a little bit weathered, but the steps look a little. Oop, I'm really trying to. You're just trying to. There you go. The steps look a little bit dirty, but it's not. It's still overall. And the funny thing is, the chocks look very dirty too. But then the paint jobs look very clean. No chips, no nothing. Anyways, I'm not trying to complain because it's a beautiful airplane to look at, and certainly from far away you never notice the chips. But when you get the detail level where you can zoom in like that, you really notice how nice they look. Anyways. Here we are, so we are going to hop into the airplane, and if you'll just excuse me for 1 second, I'm just going to grab my Track IR hat here. Alright, so it looks like they don't want to work, again. This time the mouse is doing it though, which is, the mouse wants to do it, but for some reason my throttle controls do not want to do it, so stand by 1 moment while I just play with some settings and see if I can get it to work. Stand by. Okay, guys. Okay, guys, we're back in the flight deck. I just checked the thrust controls again here, and they do appear to work. I can grab them with the mouse, and more importantly, I can move the thrust lever back and forth when I need it using my thrust lever. So it is working now. So we can get this airplane fired up again. Maintenance is here. They power down the airplane, so now we're going to have to just do the safety check again to make sure that everything is off. The gear's down. Those are disarmed. That's stowed. Flaps up. Sorry, get the Track IR to a good position here because it seems to have reset itself. There we go. Alright, and our ADG is not deployed, neither is our emergency flap. Let's get that power going on there, and let's get the, let's see here. Let's get the door open. Let's get the ground power card on. Let's get that ground air card back on. We can open up the forward cargo door as well, and we can start doing some things here. So we'll get that on, get the lights on. We can get the recirc fan on right now. We can test the emergency lights. They test out. And we can get the IRSs initializing. Alright. So we got it all going there. Let me put myself back up there again to look at. Yeah, so sorry about that, guys. And the ironic thing is that I did a flight this afternoon. I did a flight this afternoon to check the bloody airplane, and it worked just fine. No glitches, no nothing, no issues whatsoever. And you know, then you go and you start it up for stream, and of course the sim does not want to work. So, isn't that just the way this hobby is? And that's one of the things that probably frustrates me more than anything about this hobby. And I think you guys have all been there before. Is how much tweaking it sometimes takes to get the simplest thing done. You want to just go fly. You want to, at the end of the day, you want to sit down. You want to relax. You want to fly your sim and just have a little bit of fun. And it ends up taking you a dog's age to get it going because this just needs an update, and that just that's no longer compatible with that, and this doesn't work anymore. Oh, this stopped working since the last time you did it. Just sometimes I just like to sit down and just go. And sometimes it's just nice to have like games on Steam where you just literally just fire it up and just go and play, and you don't need a big build up, you don't need to tweak stuff. It's just all ready for you when you sit in the flight deck. Anyways, enough ranting about that, but yeah, thank you for sticking with me, everybody, and let's get this show on the road for real this time, because the sun is going to go down. We're going to run out of time eventually here. So once again, I've got my tablet. If it turns on, nope, didn't want to turn on. It's an old tablet that I stole to use for this purpose, and it sometimes just spontaneously turns itself off. So now it's booting itself up again. I started up just before the stream, but obviously this is going to be one of those streams. So let's go ahead, and actually before we do that, let's just get a few things happening outside of the airplane here. Namely, let's call the fuel truck. So I need to restart my Pushback Express because it stopped when the sim stopped. So there we go. Alright, so let's call for the fuel truck. This should dispatch my fuel truck from somewhere on the field to our location, wherever it's coming from. And it'll prompt us when we get there, everybody else. And the other thing we can also do as well is throw the bag. So let's get the bag loading going on here. There we go. So he's going to drive under the airplane because he doesn't know how else to get to the door. Because normally most jets, the baggage is usually on the right-hand side, away from the jet bridges. So that's why, by default, Microsoft Flight Simulator parks things on this side. Unfortunately, when you get something like the CRJ, which is kind of non-standard, it kind of messes up the whole operation here. So, anywho. Now I'm feeling a little bit of pressure to get this thing going just because it took longer than it was supposed to, as always. Alright, so let's just get this going here. Just waiting for my tablet to load itself here. It's being very slow. Come on, you can do it. Nope, it does not want to. It probably will not find the connection either now because I had to reboot the sim. Just give me 1 second here. Alright, just restarting my AviaWorks server. Alright. And let's go to the launcher. Let's make sure we've got the Aerosoft CRJ left CDU. There it is. Okay. I just find that I like to have like the tablet to tap on because I find I just get so tired of clicking everything with the mouse. So I tend to try and use the tablet as much as possible. You could follow along anyways, but the nav database on there is good. So we're going to go ahead to the position init page. Nope. Yes, there it goes. And then we're going to go to the next page to grab the GPS coordinates from one of the GPSs. Go back and pop it in there. And now it's going to initialize that location. Now we can start putting in our flight plan. And our flight plan today is really quite easy. From KFSD to KORD. And our alternate, let's see what it chose for an alternate today. I haven't even looked at this flight plan that carefully, and I should be looking at it carefully. It did choose Detroit. It seems to like Detroit, and Detroit's a really far alternate. Oops. I was going to choose something a little closer like Milwaukee or Midway if the weather's nice, but that's okay. If we can do that with the amount of fuel in the tanks, and then if we have a delay, if we have a hold or whatever on our way into Chicago, then we can change our alternate and cut down on our fuel burn. Oh, fuel truck's here. Alright, so let's deal with that really quickly here. So we close that, and we will take our track IR out. Zoom this in here. That's as far zoomed in as it gets, I guess. That's okay. Alright, get that on, and actually the one thing I need to do, of course, is look at my flight plan over here on the other screen, and we need about 11.5, so we've just got to increase this until we get to at least 11.5. Come on. There it goes. That's fine. And there it goes. Now it's fueling. Perfect. In the meantime, we can get back down to doing this. Alright, back to the FMS. Let's see. So we need the departure. We're going to be departing runway 15 because, actually I didn't check the weather. I'm just thinking from last time, but I know that the one runway is closed. KFSD. And of course, slid off my knee while I was doing that. Let's see here. 320. Nope. It looks like we're taking off runway 33 instead. Okay, no problem. So... Oh, no, I didn't do that. I didn't save any of that, so now I got to start again here. I hate when I do that, when I try to just clear just the departure or the arrival, and I clear the whole thing. Alright, that's okay. At least we know we don't have to look it up again. We've got KDTW. And our flight number is SkyWest 3004 today. Nope, 3004. What we'll do is I'll execute that, then we'll go to the departure page. So runway 33, because the other runway 0321, I believe, is still closed for the summer for some maintenance. So we'll do runway 33, and then from there we'll go into our flight plan. So we're going to go FSD-KORD, and then basically we're right into the arrival. So let me just see if I can recall here what we've got for an arrival. And we've got the Fayette 6 via zipper. So double tap the departure arrival button, and Chicago, probably the 9. So I would, if I was a betting man, I would take 9 left. 9 left? Or 9 center. I'll take 9 left anyways for now, and we'll, if we need to change it, we can change it. Gibbons, and so we're going to take, and then my tablet died, so it does not like, it's an old tablet. When it works, it's great to just have, but when it doesn't want to work, you just give up. So, there we go. We've got Fayette 6, zipper transition, the ILS 9 left via the Gibbons transition, so that's all good. And, let's see here. Okay, so then we can go into the legs page, and we could just move that right up because that's our flight plan, is FSD direct to the zipper and the whole arrival there. So that's all in there. Then we can go to the performance page, and let's do a flex temp of 39 degrees for takeoff, performance init, and now at this point we can init it from, ooh, that's really zoomed in there. Okay, we can init it from here. Alright, and let's see, what do I have for weight and balance here? So I got 65, so 65 passengers on my Simbri flight plan, and then I increase my off cargo just at the same rate, so it kind of matches. So let me set that payload in the simulator, so now that's what's loaded, and we're below max landing weight already. Even if I init fuel from aircraft, that's all we have is 10,000. We're supposed to have 11,800. Why do we have, is it still fueling? Yeah, it's still fueling, so it's not done yet, that's why. Okay, no problem, but we'll copy the perf init data to the FMS, and while we're here, we can go ahead and set all our V speeds, because spinning those knobs is frankly very tedious. So, there we go. We've got 12,000, 10,000, yeah, the fuel's still increasing, which is fine. Alright, cruise altitude today, 370, and to get to our alternate will be 390. See, that's the thing. Detroit is so far from Chicago. It's not that far, but it's far enough. It's like an hour flight. It's like we really don't need to go there unless the weather's really bad. So we've got an extra half an hour in the tank today for any kind of delays into Chicago because of the Friday night ops. My tablet is stuck in its rebooting loop now here, and it's just distracting me. I'm going to just flip it over because it's just distracting me. Let's see here. So VNAV setup. Okay, so, oops. That's not what I'm trying to do. Wrong button. that button. There we go. So I can lean back to a more normal position here. And that's one nice thing I really like is when I pause the track IR in Microsoft Flight Simulator, it stays where you are. In P3D, it would go back to the sort of the center of the view from before. So I really kind of like this. So let's execute this. Let's go to the next page. Our ISA deviation from our flight plan over here is plus 10. Whew, warm. And 242 at 5 is the average wind. It won't make too much of a difference today anyways, but 10 degrees and 242 at 5. It's barely even worth putting it in. That's such a small wind. And we're not going to worry about the ETD. We're also going to just go to the VNAV page real quick here, and I tend to set 0.77 because that's what SimBrief tends to plan us at in cruise here, is actually 0.77. So we'll set that. That's all the performance numbers will be based on that. That's basically it. The FMS is programmed up. We are good to go in that respect. We should have 11.8. There's our 11,800 pounds of fuel. Perfect. So we can go ahead and shut off the fueling back here. Turn off that switch and close that. Alright, and quick overhead panel sweep here. Alright, so DC service bus is off, its batteries are on, the AC power is in use. We've got the AC generators are all on in auto mode. Auto transfers are all normal, and fire detection test. Hydraulic shutoffs are all in. I'm going to get the logo light because it is eventually going to get dark as we fly here. And fuel pumps are off, the cross flows are closed for now, and the bleed air is normal, auto, closed in both. APU, we can actually start the APU now because the fuel truck has come and gone, and since he's come and gone, we can go ahead and get the seatbelt light on as well. 1, 2, 3, APU door should be open, it is, boom, start. Alright, the ignition switches are all out, the continuous ignition is not on. We can go ahead and test the hydraulic systems real quick here. If I can find the hydraulic button there. All pressurized to 3,000 psi. Nice. Auto, on, auto, and auto. And that should get me just 3,000 in the center. Perfect. Alright. Track IR sometimes when you're really kind of using a rig, range of motion doesn't work very well. Alright, the one thing we need to do now, set our landing field elevation right here, and we're going to set it on this knob up here. And it's about 560 if I recall for Chicago. That's good enough for now. Well, what the hell? There we go, 560. The cabin manual we don't need. Emergency depressurize is out. Pressurization controls are good. The APU is on. We can get the packs on. The recirc fan already turned on. Don't need ram air. Don't need manual control of anything. We don't need conditioning air in the cargo compartments. We do need to get the windshields heated up in the low position. Do a quick ice detect test. And ADS heat test okay, perfect. Alright, and miscellaneous lights, we don't need them yet, but we are going to need them soon. Alright, carrying right along here. Let's do a quick stall test. Hold. And you'll see the continuous ignition light comes on. Perfect. Alright, nose wheel steering is disarmed for the pushback. And let's see here, we got our nav source is FMS. Our altimeter, let's see here, in FSD standard 2992. Oh, perfect. Okay, so 2992 is set on both sides there. Speeds I've already set automatically. Test the CVR real quick. Make sure everything is good because maintenance was here, and when maintenance comes to the airplane, never trust that they left the switches in the right position. It's not that they would do anything intentionally, but they have work to do, and they don't think about what the right switch position is when they leave necessarily. It's obviously super important for us as the pilots to double check that everything is in the right position. So anytime maintenance comes to the airplane, you do a full originating flow. Yeah, you just pretend like you haven't seen the airplane before, even if you were just in it, because you never know what they might have moved. Okay, let's disarm the anti-skid and then rearm it. If it passes the test, those lights go out again.
Gear bay overheat.
Gear bay overheat, and the overheat test failed. Good. Lamps. Lots and lots of lamps in this airplane. Very good. And let's see here. All those are in. The spoilers are in auto. The thrust reversers are disarmed. Of course, the disconnects are all in. Speed brake is stowed. Thrust levers are in off. The flaps are up right now. We've got Unicom up on number 1. The only thing I don't like, I don't know why they use absolute altitude. I've never met an airline that liked absolute altitude. or a pilot that really liked absolute altitude. Everyone that I know always likes the relative altitude. They want to see where it is relative to me right now. I don't want to do any mental math from where I am right now. Alright, and a trim test. And test the trim this way here. So if we do this, there goes the aileron trim that way, and then back. And the rudder trim. There we go. I'm not sure if there's a stop, so a lot of the airplanes will have like a stop after like 4 seconds. I'm not sure if we're supposed to test a stop or not, so I just test just to see that it does move, does what it's supposed to. Everything else is in the norm position, everything else is all stowed, and I think we are all good to go here. Alright, and let's grab my checklist here. Let's see here, before start check, so passenger signs panel is on, landing elevation 560 is set. Altimeters, we got standard 2992 set. FMS is checked and set up. The IRSs are aligned and in nav mode. Radios and nav aids we've got set, and the takeoff briefing is complete. Before start checklist is complete. Alright, and just do a quick little departure brief here before we get going, and we'll get this show on the road. And actually, before I forget, I also need to remember to run FSU IPC, because that's how a pilot's life will interface with this airplane, so in order for it to work, I have to run it. Okay, let's see here. So, a quick little briefing here. Here are the Navigraph charts for KFSD, and we do have an obstacle departure procedure here. So we're going to depart runway 33. It's heading 330 exactly. We're here at the terminal, so we're going to taxi just out Alpha 1. It's going to be a really short taxi. No hot spots along that route other than crossing the approach of runway 27, which is a pretty minor runway, but we'll keep our eyes peeled. For the departure, off of runway 33, and actually, sorry, it's detailed here on the obstacle departure here. Runway 33, climb heading 330 to 2300 before turning eastbound. So at least 2300 before we turn eastbound. There is no top altitude, it's not a SID, so I've set 10,000 because we don't have any ATC right now. And at 2300 we can take our right turn on course. That's basically it for the charts. Terrain is not much around this field. There's a few obstacles to the southeast, but to the east, but nothing. Where is it here? Oh, here. Yeah. There's an obstacle off to the east we have to worry about, but if we depart 33 and turn eastbound, that should not be a problem at all. Weather is beautiful day here. Just a bit of a gusty wind out of the northwest, but it's pretty much right down the runway. Operational. No MELs that I saw. No TAMs. Where's my flight plan? Pull up my flight plan really quick. Check no TAMs and KFSD. And again, what I'm looking for here is 0321 is closed, and that's it. 0321, and lots of stuff to do with 0321. Then we got some approach stuff, but nothing with departures. Some taxiways closed, but again, Alpha 1, none of those affected, so will not affect our departure at all. And there you go. Do you have any questions? No? All right. Then let's get this show underway here. So first things first, we've got the APU on and it's available, so we can go ahead and take the ground power away. So let's get rid of ground power. Let's also get rid of our air conditioning cart. We don't need that. We can go ahead and close the doors. Check the doors page. There we go.
Cabin is secure. All passengers
Everybody's happy. Alright, I believe we are ready here, Chucks. Yes, you can remove the chocks. The parking brake is set. And, oh, there's my... Oh, not what I'm trying to do there. Stop moving the map and just move the screen. Just making sure that my other flight tracker is running, and I think we're ready to go. Cockpit to ground.
Go ahead, flight tech.
We are ready for pushback and engine start.
Roger. Release the parking brakes, please.
Alright, before we release parking brakes, clear to start check. Personal electronic devices are off. APU is on. And electrics, we've got checked. We got the APU running. Takeoff data is set. The doors we saw are closed. Beacon on. Fuel pumps on. Hydraulic pumps are auto and on. Parking brake will release in a second. The transponder has to go on first, and we'll go ahead and release the parking brake. Brakes released.
Pushing back.
And let's start getting some light going on here, because it's starting already, at certain perspectives, it's already starting to look a little bit dark in here. So let's get this integrated lighting turned on, just so when it does get dark, we're ready for it. And Travis, I know you're watching there. I saw you parked over at the gate there. I hope you're ready to go, or very close to it. I really would like to try and get 2 legs done today. After that little half-hour debacle of trying to get the sim booted up again, or a 15-minute debacle, I may not, but I would like to. They should be ready any second now. I assume that's probably you over there, Travis. That's your CRJ, which is actually better than when it sometimes shows up as like a TBM. So, all right, thank you, Travis. I just don't, if you're here, I want to at least enjoy your company, my friend. So, all right, looks like we're good to clear to start 2. Starting engine 2. Oh, and then we just got another one booted in there. Phil, I don't know if that's you watching, but if that is, then we're just about ready to go. But hopefully you'll catch up to us. We get a little bit of a hold on the way into Chicago. I'm sure you'll catch up to us. It looks busy, but it doesn't look like ridiculously busy to the point where they're not going to be able to handle it, especially with the number of runways they have. They can run a triple operation if they've got enough staff. It's not a problem. So there we go. Got 20%. Sounds like we're getting light off. Let's just have a quick look at where we are here. Stop, pushback.
Pushback complete. Set parking brakes, please.
Brake set.
Roger. Okay, the tow bar is disconnected and the equipment is clear. We will see you on the left side with the pin.
Very good. Alright, looks like we got a normal start on 2. Fuel pumps off. See the left fuel low pressure, that's good. Fuel pumps back on, and starting 1. Just going to take myself away for a little bit here, because I'm also going to just use this opportunity to just get just a couple of nice external shots here, maybe that I can use for my trailer. That's probably 20%, right? There's 20% right there. Get that with the setting sun right there. Does look pretty good, I gotta say. I always like the way this airplane looks. I like the way the whole sim looks, though. It's just spectacular sometimes to see. So I'm just going to play with a few angles here, and then whatever looks really nice when... Alright, that's enough of that. Alright, looks like we got a normal start on number 1 as well. Perfect. Alright, so we can go ahead and shut off the APU. Turn on the probes. Flaps. Thrust reversers. Nose wheel steering. After start checklist, generators are auto and electrics. Checked, both holding about an equal load. Bleed valves are auto and the packs are on. APU's going off. Just needs a couple more percent. Anti-ice is off and the nose wheel steering is armed. And there the APU is off, so we can go ahead and power it off. And before we go anywhere, quick flight control check. Elevators. Ailerons. And the rudder. Alright, and the after start check is complete. Just drop my checklist. I'll just pick that up really quickly before I actually need it. Sioux Falls traffic, good evening. SkyWest 3004 is at the terminal. Will be taxiing Alpha for departure runway 33 eastbound. Get my status page back, and hey, look, we got working thrust levers. Roham, welcome to the stream. We're just getting underway here. Just the sun's just setting off in the distance there. We're gonna turn and head eastbound to Chicago for the FNO. It's gonna get really busy on frequency. It's quiet here. There's no controllers online right here, but as we head eastbound, it's gonna get busy, and it's gonna be fun. I'm looking forward to it. We're gonna see if we can squeeze in a second leg. I don't know if we're gonna make it before we duty out tonight, but we're gonna try. Unfortunately, it's also a lot of night streaming, and that's one thing I'm not a big fan of. In the P3D world, the night streaming videos really just came out as super dark. I don't know if that's going to be the case here with Microsoft Flight Simulator. It's a better lighting model, so maybe it'll look a little better. I don't know. I honestly don't know. Yeah, I'm gonna see if we can do it. See how it looks. This will be an experiment as well. And if it doesn't look good, I won't do any more night streaming. I promise. But I also want to just take advantage of some ATC today, so I figured I had the chance. The FNO was in Chicago, and I need to fly to Chicago, so why not? Just try and get that to a little bit more of a comfortable spot. Alright, let's do a quick taxi check here, because we're going to get there real quick here. So taxi check, slat flaps, we've got 8 indicating. Flight controls are checked. Trims, checked 7.5 units. Let's see here. Thrust reversers are armed. Flight instruments are all checked, and brake temp is checked. Alright, the taxi check is complete. And then I believe this is the whole point here for the ILS. I just feel like I'm not quite in the right spot. Yeah, night over the cities, it looks really good in Microsoft Flight Simulator. That's exactly right. So, like,
Ladies and gentlemen, the captain has advised that we are now cleared for takeoff. Please notice the captain...
Did I? I didn't even hear myself do that.
This is a normal procedure for a nighttime takeoff.
Yeah, that's like, it's a new sim. Like, I didn't like doing it in P3D because I really found it was not good in P3D. Huh, what's that train over there? Is there like a train factory over here or something? Interesting. Never noticed that before. It's funny the scenery you see. Alright, clear on the left, clear on the right. Cabin crew seats for departure. Sioux Falls traffic. SkyWest 3004 is take position runway 33 for departure, right turn out towards Chicago. Alright, let's get some lights on here. There's no tower to clear me, so I'm clearing myself. And let's do quickly the before takeoff checklist here. Before takeoff checklist, lights and strobes are now on. Fuel cross flow is manual. Flight attendants are advised transponder is on. 2000 is set. Radar train are set, and the CAS is checked. Before takeoff checklist is complete. All right. Lights are on. And actually, before we do anything else, I'm also just going to make sure we are tracking this, because I don't want to... There we go. Don't want to not be tracking this. All this effort here. Service door. Why did the service door open? Who opened the service door? Did I accidentally open the service door? I probably accidentally hit it, didn't I? Well, I was just trying to click in the screen here. That's why we have yellow lights. Can you secure the service door? Yeah, no, it's secured? Okay, perfect, thanks. Okay, here we go. And I like to have this boat over here, because it's just too much otherwise. 100 knots. B1, rotate. Positive rate. Gear up. I don't know why it wants me to pitch down to the ground. Oh, flight director, what are you doing? Alright, 1,000 feet. Climb power. Let's get the speed going up here. Good, there we go. Let's get the autopilot on. And let's get the speed going to about 237. 210 will do, thank you. Get the flaps up. And we can do a turn on course here. And actually what we'll do is we'll just simply engage the on course because we're pretty much going to be sailing right through it here any second now. Sioux Falls traffic, SkyWest 3004 is clear of runway 33 airborne in the right turnout. Alright, and the other thing we'll do is we'll get the altitude up to 370 here for our climb. Whoop. There we go, that's 37.7. Now it's 370. And we are more or less almost turned on course here. Alright, the only thing I've got to do here, do the after takeoff checklist, get those disarmed. And let's just accelerate now that we're on course. Let's go to 250 knots. There we go. We overshot very slightly, but we're basically on course. There goes Sioux Falls, South Dakota. I may never see it again in this regional lifestyle. You never know. Little airports like that, you may see it again in your schedule, who knows. Climb check. Fuel cross flow is back to auto. Bleeds and APU, we've got the bleeds are on normal and the APU is off. Thrust reversers are off and the CAS checked. We've just got the seatbelt and the no smoking sign on there. Perfect. Looking good. Alright, after climb check is complete. Not that one. That one. There we go, got 250, and we're almost at 10,000 already. It's going to be a beautiful evening here. Looking really nice. The fun part is going to be determining which Chicago Center to talk to, although it looks like there's only 2 of them online, so it shouldn't be too bad trying to figure it out. I got a 50-50 chance. That's one problem with when you have events with multiple sectors is it's hard to sometimes know which sector you're going to be entering unless somebody actually has switched you over, so sometimes it can be a little challenging. Alright. Really, we should wait till 10,000 AFE. Above their field elevation. So here we go. Yeah, close enough anyways, alright. Lights off. Pressurization checks. Differentials increasing, cabins climbing controlled. 2,600 feet cabin altitude good. And seatbelts. Looks like a beautiful evening. We'll go ahead and turn them off and kick back and relax for a few minutes. I don't know how long before we actually end up in Chicago's airspace here, so now I can pull up my Sim Toolkit Pro here and check out my live map.
Traffic, Lindbergh 4455, taxiing runway 33 via Alpha.
Give it a second to think about what it's doing here. And for some reason, I just noticed here at the top that it does not like my flight tracking. Still thinks we're on the ground, so I'm going to go ahead and reset my Sim Toolkit Pro, probably because the sim did not start properly there, or because it terminated improperly. I just realized that it's not connected, so the overlay is not working properly, so I can see now up there. I wasn't looking at it before, but it just said bands. Everything was not a number. So give it a second here. In the meantime, we are above 10,000. We don't have to glide at 250 anymore. We can actually accelerate to a reasonable climb speed for a jet of like 290. And I hear you guys coming, so you're not too far behind, which is great. Alright, Sim Toolkit Pro, are you ready? Yes, restore the flight. Yes, connect to MSFS. Now, there you go. There the overlay is working. The real reason why I want to do this, though, was I wanted to see... nope, that's not what I wanted to see. No, this is not the live map, that's why.
Ladies and gentlemen, we
That's
are now
the current
serving
map.
sandwiches.
So it jumped there to there just because it didn't see my whole takeoff, but that's okay. So let's see. Flights, area ATC is the big thing I want to see. Airport ATC, airport ATIS. Because then if I do that, then you can see when we're going to enter Chicago's airspace, which is going to be somewhere here. By the time we get to Zipper, we should be calling somebody. By the time we get to Zipper, we should be calling somebody. So here's where the event is. It's happening Chicago, DFW, Atlanta. So you can see there's really kind of like a big kind of triangle going on with lots of airplanes flying either way. Lots of airplanes on the ground in Chicago too. So it's going to be busy. It's going to be busy, and the trouble is like the model matching's not great. That's one of the few disadvantages of trying to fly VATSIM right now on this simulators. The model matching's not great, and I've read posts by Russ Carlson himself, who said he really wants the model matching to work in vPilot. Basically, the SDK again does not really support it. Well, standard is now set and still set over there. Basically, the SDK does not support it, is what he said. So as soon as it does, like it's not that it doesn't support, it's that it doesn't support like detection of the models. So vPilot can't go in and automatically scan through all the models you have installed on your sim and create a database, create a list of what is what's installed, what it can tell the sim to display. It doesn't have any capability of really doing that beyond the default airplanes at this time. So until that capability starts to exist, it's just not going to be really feasible for vPilot to be very practical. For model match to be very practical. Now, that being said, and I haven't tried this out, I was again looking more into it. Spencer, Iowa. Okay, hold on. Acquisition says we're right over his hometown of Spencer, Iowa. So let's just see if we can find it really quickly here. You might have to give me some help here. Spencer, Iowa. So we are. Okay, so let's zoom out a little bit to find where we are here. Let's see here. That is no, that's Minnesota. Okay, so Spencer, Iowa is down. This is Iowa right here, right? Yeah. So yeah. Okay. So let's see if we can find Spencer. Feel free to help me out, because I don't know. Sheldon, Sibley, Estherville. Oh, there it is. Yep, I found it. There it is. Spencer. Nice. Acquisitions, how's it going? We are going to pass probably, I don't even know what that is, 30 miles north of your town there. So, off somewhere in the distance. It's over there somewhere. But thanks for the shout out. Appreciate it. Kind of always fun to connect to the real world in a weird way when you're flying the sim, and I always enjoy that. I always enjoy trying to connect to the real world. But yeah, as I was saying, like the model matching just does not really work yet very well. And apparently there is, and I was looking into this, there is a model matching set that you can get that sort of manually correlates a lot of the common models that people have, like if you have the livery mega packs, and will create some, and actually has like some lists. It won't create the list for you, but you can load the lists into vPilot. So I haven't tried that yet. I've read about it. I want to get you give that a try one of these days, and unfortunately today would have been a great day to do it before the FNO, but I didn't. So we're gonna have to live with the shortcomings of this sim, and unfortunately traffic is just not going to look particularly good. You'll see it's like a jet probably, but that's about as much as you'll see. But as long as you actually can see an airplane there, it's not too bad. I wish it was better. It'll get better over time. It's not going to be a particularly long flight. Let's see. We're going to level off in about 80 miles, and then we're going to have to start down in, I think that's the top of drop, just scrolling into view there, in about 160 miles. So it's not going to be very long in cruise today. Messy here. Let's see if I can get some of this stuff off there. MFD data, no, MFD menu. So let's, nope. That's what I'm trying to do. Let me just get rid of the airports. That should clean things up a little bit there. Oops, wrong way. Alright, I don't know where the top of descent is yet. Let's see. It's past Zipper, actually. It's around Mighty. Okay, so we got a little ways till our top descent, but it's not very far anyways today. We're going to get there pretty quick. What was I saying? Yeah. I forgot. I've lost my train of thought. So the one thing, interesting bit of news, I thought anyways. Some people disagree with me, but one interesting bit of news that kind of passed our way this week, and I'm a little bit excited about it. And it was really a very short news item, really, at the end of the day. Let's see if I can just find it here. Just give me 1 second. Here we go. So it wasn't anything particularly exciting, but as a little aside in another forum post, Leonardo Software has posted just two preview pictures of the Mad Dog flying in Microsoft Flight Simulator. Notice this is Microsoft Flight Simulator here, and they've already got the Mad Dog flying in it. Now, of course, they're not. This was just a very brief addendum to a different post, but they posted two pictures here. So here's the inside. Here's the flight deck, which honestly looks really quite good. It looks better than it does in P3D. Like just the way the colors look, the whole thing. It looks a little bit weathered, but it looks, I don't know. The P3D one looked still very. It looked very flat. Like this one looks more like it's three-dimensional. I know it wasn't. I know it was. It had a built-in virtual cockpit and it was three-dimensional, but for some reason, just the way it looked in P3D, it always looked a little bit flat. This looks like it's got a little bit more life and depth to it. Maybe it's just the way the lighting looks. Something about it. It looks really, really nice. So, you know, they didn't really say much about it. All they really said here, and I found it on FSLE, but all they said was that they were optimistic about the future of Mad Dog coming to Microsoft Flight Simulator. That the recent SDK updates have been positive for the team. That it sounds like they believe that it's going to come into the sim. It's not going to be a quick thing. It's not going to happen overnight by any means, but it is going to happen. I see we've transitioned there, so I'm just going to get back to Mach 7.6 for the climb. So I just thought that was really neat. I'm looking forward to that. I really find that a fun airplane. It's like the CRJ, it's a taxing airplane. It does have auto throttles, but it's an old school airplane, so it's very taxing to fly. You really have to know your systems well to fly it. So yeah, it's not you know, what am I trying to say here? It's not, you know, it's not like release is imminent, but it just gives me excitement for the platform, that people are doing things with this platform, that there's stuff coming to this platform. You know, it's not going to be starved of airplanes forever. And I mean, we're not starved now. At least we have something here. We've got the CRJ, and it's nice, and I'm enjoying it. You know, and probably by the time the next airplane is released, I will have gotten my joys out of this. So, yeah, I think it's a good thing. I just thought, you know, and it was such a small little post, addendum to another post. It wasn't even anything like really big or important. It wasn't like an official announcement. It was just like, oh yeah, and here's a couple screenshots. We are working on it. We're happy with what's going on so far. Lots of work to do, but we're happy with what's being done. So I'm excited about that. I think it's going to be a good airplane for Microsoft Flight Simulator as well. There's just so much good scenery out there already, and it's going to be nice to see some good airplanes come to the sim. That's for sure. Alright, it seems like I'm getting darker. Maybe it's just me. It just seems like I'm getting darker as the night's getting darker here. So give me 1 second here. I'm just going to turn on my light here. Hopefully that doesn't wash me out too much. A little bit brighter. Yeah. So there we are. We've got 1,000 to go. 360 climbing 370. And I do have a small entourage behind me today. Travis and Phil are following behind. They weren't quite ready to take off when I took off, but they are behind us a little ways. They're coming quick, so hopefully you'll get to Chicago on time, and maybe you can turn around and come to Charlottesville with me if we can get this plane turned around fast enough. So what are we saying here for... Let's get this track IR going again here. Let's see, what are we saying here for progress? We're saying 1 hour to Chicago from here, but we're about to start accelerating a little bit too as we get over the top here. There's altitude capture. We're going to be targeting 0.77 in cruise. Getting a little bit cloudy out here. I think we probably have just about passed Spencer now. Let's just check the Sim Toolkit Pro here. And yes, we did pass Spencer a little bit, so it's behind us there somewhere. So acquisitions anyways. Past your hometown over there. Hope you're having a good night. Looks like it's a pretty nice night overall. Get a little cloudy, but not too bad. Alright, looks like she's capturing 370 nicely here. And pretty much we're going to get set up for the arrival here as this captures, because it's going to be a short jaunt here in cruise, and then we're going to be right back into it. So let's see if I can see the ATIS yet. I can't even see the ATIS yet. So what we can also do, of course, is check it on VATSIM. So I can't even see it yet on the scope, but I can check VATSIM. If I can get my mouse to work on the other computer here. Quickly check out Chicago O'Hare details, and it says, let's see, 150 at 7, arrivals expect vectors for the approach ILS. Oh, runway 27 center, 27 right, 28 center approach. So I would go with 27 right would probably be us coming around on this downwind here. Well, I was wrong. I got the wrong end of the runway in, but anyways, that's okay. We got lots of time. Land and hold short operations in effect. 27 Charlie, land exit. Runway 28 Charlie. Read back all runway hold short departures, but runway 22 left close. Wind shear advisories are enough. Wind shear advisories, in fact, hazardous info available on FSS. Use caution for men, equipment, numerous sites working around the field. Okay, so yeah, so I guess we got to switch it up. Got it wrong. You know what? It was just an educated guess. The wind has swung around a little bit. I mean, really, it's still favoring. Yeah, really, it's favoring the 9s, but anyways, they want to run the 27s. That's fine with me. But from this direction, I would be a betting man. If I was a betting man, I would, pardon me, bet on 27 right. So that's what we're going to look up here. All right, and we're going a little bit faster than planned now. Now that the airplane finally accelerated. Let's get the. And then there's lightning flashing again. There's always lightning flashing in this sim, I swear. I flew into Dallas earlier today. Almost clear skies. Just a small scattered layer at like 2,000 feet. Lightning everywhere. Like, there's things I like about the sim, and the lightning is good when there's convective clouds around. Then it's a good effect, but there's no convective clouds. Why is there lightning? Honest to God. Okay. So let's do a couple things here. First, let's get some landing speeds going on here. So performance-wise, we're looking at an estimate of, let's see here, 8,700 pounds in the tank by the time we get there. I don't know if that's really realistic, but let's take that as a possibility. Plus our 56,000 pound empty weight. So that would take us to about 65,000 pounds for landing. So I'll get my quick reference card up here, make sure I've got 63. I'll go with 65,000 pound numbers, and then we know we're good. So 65,000 pound, our VREF at flop 45 is going to be 133. Alright, so let's do that. We got that handy. Want to keep that reference card ready. Alright, and what else have we got here? Alright, so we're going to need some information for the ILS here. So let's just pull up the ILS. Okay, so show me KORD. Open the chart list here. So we're going to need the star. We're going to need the... what are we on? We're on the Fayette 6. That's it. Fayette 6. From this direction, I would estimate we're going to be 27 right, maybe 27 center. And then let's get the taxi chart along with the parking gates. Alright, we'll pull up the O'Hare 6 departure in case we want it for the next leg. Alright, so let's just pull up the information for 27 right here. Let's just get rid of this extra chart I don't need. And I got everything, so 27 right. 111.75, 273 is the inbound course. So 111.75. There we go. Come on, track higher. You can do it. It really doesn't like me over there for some reason, so let me just make a very slight adjustment. There we go. Better. 111.75 and 111.75. 273 the inbound course. We're going to call Chicago as we approach the zipper there, so a few more miles we'll call them. But let's do this. So sync the heading bug. Go to heading mode. Change to nav source. And we need 273 on the inbound course. One, two, three. Go back to FMS. And back into nav mode. We don't need to do the same thing on the other side because we're not flying off this side, so we can just go ahead and change the nav source all we want. It's a little bit hard to see that side. 1, 2, 3. I believe that's correct, and if you wanted to, you could pop that out, check it a little closer. The FO would be checking his own things anyways. And then we need some minimums. Pull up the charts again here. 111.75. So let's see here. We need Cat 1 864. So 864. We can only do intervals of 10, so we're going to round up to 870. Alright, very good. Alright, so I think we got all that programmed in. Alright, so let's do a real quick approach briefing before we get too involved in this whole thing here, because it's going to get busy real quick here as we approach Chicago. So, let's see here. For our arrival today, we're on the Fayette 6 arrival. Alright, and it would be really nice if this worked. Nope, it's still rebooting, and rebooting, and rebooting. It's stuck in an endless loop of rebooting. Okay, that's fine. So what we'll do is we'll just have to do this. Alright, so after zipper, we go to Welch, TU, Mighty, B-Hawk, between 26 and 21. There it is, between 26 and 21. Stanley, 280 knots between 17 and 210. Cup, aha, oh, I didn't even see that. Blackhawk, Stanley, Cup, Champion. Lord. Closby? I don't know. 270 knots between 13 and 15,000. Next. This would be easier if my tablet was working. I could scroll through it on my tablet, but anyways. Let's see here. We got Fayette 250 at 11,000, then Motor, Cogs, Maddie, expect landing east, that's not us. So then we're going to go to Sulu, Kirk, Vulcan, and Himgo. So Sulu, Kirk, Vulcan, and Himgo vectors are round 4. Oh, did I not change this? Oh, I didn't change this. There it is, ILS-27 right. Let's do it via Vogler anyways. Let's do execute. And then it doesn't like where we're going, but that's okay. We're going to go direct to zipper. Alright, so Welch, T.O. Mighty, Blackhawk, Stanley Cup Champion, Closby, Fayette, Motor, Cogs, Maddie, Sulu, Kirk, Vulcan, and Himgo, Vectors, Vogler, and then, let's see here, Vinny, Joker, Ilek, Wellev, Harry, and what we really need is the missed approach, so 27 right, so it's 1,100 feet, then intercept or head direct to Northbrook. Hold on. Alright, so we got all of those in there, and then ILS runway 27 right. And actually, I should just make sure I read the notes here as well. Radar required, RNAV 1 DDI, GPS required, landing east, expect radar back final after Matt. Yeah, okay, good. Alright, yeah, so 27 right. 21-14, 5th November 2020, ILS or local runway 27 right, 111.75, 273. So we set the 273, we got 111.75 on both sides there. 2200 is the check altitude at Sibley. There it is. And as we did, 864, so we got 870 barrels set up there. Let's see here, touchdown zone at 660, so I've actually got to up this. It's not 560, it's 660, so I'll up it in a second here. Airport elevation to 680. MSA is 3,400 feet, all sectors around Chicago. Missed approach is climb to 1100 feet, then climbing a right turn to 4000, direct to Northbrook VOR and hold. So straight ahead to 1100, then climb and right turn direct Northbrook, hold at 4000. RNAV1 GPS or radar required procedure entry. Sometimes approaches are authorized. ALSF2 lighting system. No pappies on this runway. It's going to be a long taxi in, so we're going to land on 27 right, if that's what we land on. It's going to be a long taxi. Probably going to be down Zulu. Let's see here. Golf. Hotel. I don't even know. To get us down to our gates. And we got to pick a gate here as well, so we're going to probably head to... I'll find a gate here in a few minutes. What was I was distracted there by something. I was gonna look up something, but anyways, yeah, we got Northbrook for the missed approach. No, that's all good. Yeah, so terrain, 3,400 feet will clear everything around Chicago. Just mostly downtown is where the big buildings are. Weather, it seems like there's a little bit of cloud out here. Nothing terribly bad, although it is a little convective and flashing some lightning at me for some reason, I guess. With the weather radar kind of functioned in this airplane. Operational, let's see, NOTAMs. It's going to be a whole bunch of NOTAMs. Good evening, welcome aboard to Tama GT. Thank you for joining us in the as we fly our way over here to Chicago. So we're just about to start our arrival into Chicago in a minute here. I'm just going to look up our NOTAMs as part of my arrival briefing. And there's going to be tons of NOTAMs because Chicago is just ridiculous. And this is one of the things, again, I've ranted about this before, but 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, 4 pages is not terrible, but I've seen worse. But still, 4 pages just for one airport that you got to read. And look at all these taxiways that are closed. Like, it's just unbelievable the amount of stuff that's, you know, and you don't have to commit it to memory because ATC should kind of guide you in that direction anyways. But as a good pilot, you should be kind of looking at these, trying to find the ones that are going to impact your route, because that way you're not surprised when your route is not kind of the standard taxi route. So runways, let's just make sure our runways are not closed here. So we're looking for 27 right, 27 center. So 27 center, everything is commissioned. 27 right, 27 left is closed down for a little while now because they're extending it. I don't think it even, is there a NOTAM here that says that? I guess maybe not. But that's why a lot of this stuff is unserviceable on 27 left. Approach procedures for 27 right, anything. 27 right, nothing. Okay, so that's good. Alright. Seems like we're kind of flying in and out of a cloud layer. I can't really tell here. Let's get some lights on here. Looks like we're going to fly into a cloud layer at some point here, so we might need to get the anti-ice on here in a minute. But we are approaching Zipper, so we're going to get ready to tune in Chicago. But that's it. Oh, actually, sorry, fuel. Fuel, we're showing 9,100 kilos. We're showing now, see, and I don't think this, now we're showing 6,400, so I don't think this calculation it's doing all the time is accurate. It seems to be constantly revising it as we go. And, like, it just seems like it's not estimating a high enough fuel burn. Anyways, that's what I was going to do. I had to adjust the landing altitude. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Should get me to 680 on there. Where is it? 680. Beauty. Okay, that's what I had to do. That's what I was trying to remember what to do. Alright, and that's it. We're all set up for the arrival into Chicago here. Nothing left to do except call one of these Chicago centers. So, your guess is as good as mine. I'm going to go with the first one on the list. Oh, and he just... Oh, Minneapolis just came online. Yeah, there you go. Well, that'll save me the hassle of trying to hand off to somebody else. Nice. I was literally about to switch to a Chicago Center frequency as well. Come on. 33.4. Looks like we're going to have some ATC tonight. Come on. There we go.
Approaching the Eclair VOR flight level 260.
King 62 Juliet Charlie, Minneapolis Center, IDEN.
Heading King 62 Juliet Charlie.
Minneapolis Center, good evening. SkyWest 3004 with you, just approaching Zephyr, flight level 370.
SkyWest 3004, Minneapolis Center, squawk 6366.
6366 coming up, SkyWest 3004.
I heard 2 aircraft calling. I heard the SkyWest, obviously, and then there was one other. Can the others say again, please?
American 12, 44, level 280.
There, 6366 is in the box.
American 1244, Minneapolis Center, IDEN. Cabin 3004, radar contact 43 miles southeast of Rochester, descend and maintain flight level 310.
Descend flight level 310, SkyWest 3004.
Minneapolis Center, Lindbergh 4455, flight level 370, inbound Mason, DOR, 40 miles.
Lindbergh 4455, Minneapolis Center, radar contact, squawk 63.
Alright, and down we go into Chicago already, and for some reason we're in roll mode. I must have accidentally hit.
60 Juliet Charlie, radar contact, 8 miles.
Or possibly when we were
maintain 15,000.
momentarily disconnected there from our waypoint. It may have reverted to roll mode, so that may have been my bad for not noticing the flight management indications there.
American 3222 with you, flight level 370, just past Mason City.
American 3222, Minneapolis Center, radar contact, squawk 6336.
So we really don't need too much of a descent to make our first couple of restrictions there. We don't have a restriction until quite a long way down this arrival.
Minneapolis Center, Alaska 155 with you at 12 south.
Flight level 360 and about 199 nautical miles away from Kilo Delta 78 Yankee.
This guy's going to get busy here. So let me know what you guys think of the stream here at night. It looks like it's really bloody dark on the stream. Hopefully it'll get a little better as we hopefully it'll get a little better as we get a more light in Chicago.
Alaska 155 with you
One thing I want to do is just turn this down, because now this is like ridiculously bright. And one thing I might do as well, just to sort of help out a little bit, if I can do it here. I can figure out if I can do it here.
2248 heavy, Minneapolis Center, Center Club, it'll be about just a couple minutes.
Roger.
Guy with 3004, connect Chicago Center 133.3, good night.
Chicago Center 133.3, SkyWest 3004, good 8. 133.3. So I turned the gamma up a little bit on my stream here. Hopefully it makes it a little bit easier to see it.
Via the Killer 3 arrival, runway 30 left transition, Minneapolis Altimeter 2983, and expect visual approach runway 30 left.
Alright, send via
350450340, direction Bonnet.
November 514 Delta Radar, or Delta Victor Radar contact reported position.
So it makes it a little bit easier to see. It kind of washes everything out a little bit, and it kind of ruins the colors a little bit, but at least you can see a little more something what's going on than just total darkness. You can actually see more on this stream than I can see on my window. Chicago Center, good evening, SkyWest 3004, 346, descending 310.
SkyWest 3004, Chicago Center, hello. Alaska 1213, radar contact lost.
Alright, so let's just double check here. Kind of wish I had charts on my tablet. I kind of miss having that in the FSX world. I'm just going to check my star really quickly here. And first speed restriction is not until we get to Stanley. So 280 knots at Stanley, it's not for a little ways here, so we're good for a little while.
1253, contact Minneapolis Center 133.4, good night.
Kind of wish we also had working weather radar, but beggars can't be choosers. But the sim is slowly getting better. The sim is slowly getting better.
Record 1253, contact Minneapolis Center 133.4, good night.
I also hope the volume is good enough for you guys on that, for the ATC.
239, contact Chicago approach on 119.0, good night.
119.06 at 239.
See, and it sounds to me more like the controller's quiet. I think the controller's really quite quiet. But yeah, so I turned up the gamma correction. I hope that's okay. It kind of, at least you can see a little bit more something out the window. The stream itself is really quite dark. The sim is really quite dark. But then also as we...
Express 542, are you able to copy holding instructions over fire?
As we get...
ready for that, holding instructions.
Well, now that's going to make me wonder, do I know how to do holding in this airplane? Yeah, there's a hold button.
542, clear direct fire.
Perfect, okay. That's all I got to do. Press the hold button. Okay, good, thank you. Thank you, Tom, I appreciate that.
Expect further clearance.
This is the first time I'm night streaming Microsoft Flight Simulator.
Fire 245 radio, and
so I think when we get a little closer to Chicago and the lights of Chicago really tend to start to kick in, I'll turn the gamma back off, but I just want to I just felt like it was too dark. Like out the window you could see literally almost nothing. And it's, it's obviously a little disappointing when you can see nothing, so you want to see something.
Maybe 1253 again, frequency.
Chicago Center, Delta 1374, Mayday, engine fire, and then go nearest airport.
Good times.
Delta 1347, roger, turn right heading 055. We're going to view the Fort Wayne Airport. It's just going to maintain 1000.
1000 heading 005, Delta 1734, 47, 37, 74.
Delta 13.
I feel
Delta
like
1374, right turn heading.
the displays are almost too bright now. That's 320 descending 310.
030. Fort Wayne Airport is 45 miles. Can you make that?
Yeah, we can do that. Right turn heading 030, Delta 1374.
Roger.
I'm one of these people who also really likes at night a dark flight deck.
47 cross.
Not very good for streaming.
12,000 over altimeter 2975. Cross calls, Adam.
It's not very good for streaming, but I like a dark flight deck because it just makes it easier to see what's going on outside. And it's funny because I've got this bright light shining in my face now, trying to kind of make the streaming go a little bit better. But it really is kind of ruining the night effect a little bit on me. I tend to, when I do fly the sim at night, I tend to turn the lights down and try to make the room as dark as possible because I like a dark flight deck when I'm flying at night. I like to be able to see as much as I can outside. There's some convective activity out here somewhere, but I don't see it anywhere.
Delta 2537 to Chicago parallel.
There's altitude capture. Where's Stanley? There's Stanley, 280 knots.
Phoenix Avenue Center, November 345, Alpha Echo, with you, 6,700 for
At a
9,000.
top and ascent point in just like 2 or 3 minutes there.
Number 345, Alpha Echo, Chicago
20
parallel.
miles away. Oh, that's what I was going to do. I was going to look up a arrival gate as well, so bear with me 1 second here. See if I can find an appropriate arrival gate for a flight.
735 and 4 out to Victor, back with you.
Sioux Falls.
4 Delta
Chicago.
Victor, roger. And 4 Delta Victor, are you direct Walkford at one time?
Direct-ish. We're deviating for some clouds, but that's where we're headed.
Golf 18 is the gate. Golf 18 is the gate we're going to, so I'm just going to really quickly check it out so I have a good idea of where we're going when we get to the airport, because it's a busy, bloody airport, but Golf 18.
13 and 74, when able, say, UN souls on board.
So it looks like an Alpha 12 or Alpha 13 entry.
Okay, we have 145 souls on board and 10,000 pound fuel on board.
Okay, Delta 1374. Runway options are Fort Wayne, your choice. I would suggest runway 5 or runway 23 is the longest.
Yeah, you get to see the flight deck every time the lightning goes off. I know. It's not.
Let me know what you want to do there.
The thing is, like, my actual screen is dark. It's the gamma on my streaming software. I turn up the gamma gain on my streaming software. So actually, if I look at the streaming software, I can see how bright it looks.
And Delta 1374, we're going to take runway 5.
Roger.
It's the magical transparent cup.
Air Transport 11, contact Chicago approach on 190.0.
190.0, see ya. And good luck to the engine fire.
Thank you.
SkyWest 3004 request continue descent.
SkyWest 3004 descent by big flight 6 arrival over altimeter 2975.
2975 descend via the flight 6 arrival SkyWest 3004. I forget what the bottom altitude is, but we're going to start down, and then we'll figure it out once we've actually started the descent here. So let's see, VS minus 2000, get the power back, pull up my chart real quick and see what the bottom altitude is on this arrival.
Pressure 542, clear to expire to rejoin the arrival, contact Chicago approach on 125.7.
Let's see here, so the bottom altitude on this was 11,000.
Copy, clear for flyer to join the approach, and 1257 for
switch down to 11.
Chicago Center, American 3222, just pound zipper inbound.
Alright, there's 11,000. And there's my path mark right there. Oh, we're doing just perfect here. Maybe just back off just a hair on the descent, but It's looking good. 1.9.
Left 340, that was 1374.
Looking really good.
222 Chicago Center, hello.
I'm starting to master this airplane. Starting to slowly master this airplane. I'm feeling more and more comfortable with it, but she'll get away from you really quick if you're not paying attention to her, especially in the descent. You gotta be paying attention. She's a finicky little airplane. And yeah, we can do 290.
Center 5, 14 Delta Victor is about 15 miles east of the CO, 2,300 descending, 1,800 inbound for full
Yeah,
stop.
he said 2975 was the altimeter there in Chicago. We should be able to get the ATIS now, I would think. I got it over there on my other computer, but I'd rather have it here on this computer as well, where I can look at it. So, oh, here it is. There we go. Alright, so quickly read through this here. There's a lot of it. Lima. Lima. 0151 Zulu. Yeah, it's going to be out of date soon. 5,500 few, 10 miles. 29 degrees, 18 degrees, 2975. So my dial is 27 center. 27 right, 28 center. How it's supposed to use land and hold short of braces back. 27 center plan to hold short of a kilo. 9,725 feet.
Over 1949 Delta, just going to maintain 5,000.
Departures expected on the 2 left.
49 Delta walking in altimeter 2981.
Which advisories in effect? Yeah, we saw that before. Okay, so Lima. Information Lima. Oop, now we're not going down fast enough. We're going to need 280 at Stanley, which is coming up soon here.
1,000 over altimeter 2975.
Cross hold at 12000, 23, 40.
Delta 25, 37 cross, Haley at a maintain 6,000 over altimeter.
See, because I don't have any weather radar, I really can't divert around weather here unless I can actually visually see it. And I can't see it at night, so there's a reason why you're supposed to have weather radar to fly transport category aircraft at night, because otherwise you'll never see the thunderstorms out there and you'll just fly right into them. Okay, it looks like we need...
Flight 6 arrival over altimeter 2975.
We need 2,400. And we're going to need to slow to 280 knots for Stanley, which is coming up shortly here. Just about to reach Blackhawk. Those lighting effects are pretty impressive, and you can hear the thunder in the background. But it's funny when you get like a very clear sky and you still see it. Alright. Blackhawk's supposed to be between 21 and 26, which is fine. We're right in that window already. The next one's 17,000. Yeah, we're doing good here. Alright, what do we got? We got 16 miles to Stanley, so we'll wait about 5 more miles. And then we'll start bringing her back.
125.0 for 49er Delta.
Little break in the clouds down there, I guess. I can't even see it on the main window. I can only see that with the gamma cranked up. It's funny, the detail that is out there that you don't see because it's just dim enough that you can't really see it. Alright. We really should not take too long to get to...
Chicago Center, Lindbergh 4455, flight level 310.
Lindbergh 4455, Chicago Center, hello.
280, we're almost there already.
Chicago Center, Delta 1374.
And 270 at Closby.
November 514 Delta Victor, enter left to...
Alright, we're getting there. We're getting there.
Turning final.
Left base 25, report final, 514 Delta Victor. We are experiencing a little bit of visibility issues here. We may be asking for an instrument approach. I'll let you know.
Roger. So 1374, turn left heading 1990.
Left 190, 1374.
I never did the ascent check, did I? Too distracted by ATC and everything else. Alright, let's do this. Landing elevation. 680 is set, sorry. Fuel. Check, we got still.
We're just to confirm it's 1 engine. Which side is that?
8300. Wow, good. TCAS is...
Yeah, engine 1 failure, with 10 items.
Set.
1 turn left.
Radar is not going to do any good even if I turn it on. We turn it on, but not going to do any good. CAS is checked, just a no smoking sign. Landing data. Nope. It's funny, I set the brightness low and then I didn't hit OK.
So 1347 contact Chicago approach on 119.
Landing data will set, and
Delta 1347.
the VRF is going to be 133 anyways. And approach check, or approach briefing is complete, so the descent check is complete. And the altimeter.
1190, Delta 1347. Delta 13 and 74 to maintain.
2975 is set, and cross check. That looks good. Still not much to see out there. We need to basically arrest our descent here because we're not supposed to... well, no, 13,000, 15,000.
2340 here, we're leaving.
It's getting a little bit cluttered on here, so it's a little bit hard to see. Okay, between 13 and 15 here at Colesby, so yeah, we definitely need to slow our rate of descent here.
So 13 and 74, turn left heading 150.
Left 150, Delta 1374.
We'll go with 1,000. And hopefully that should get us through the window there. Sorry I'm not very talkative anymore, but I'm just trying to listen and make sure that I don't miss my call sign. This controller's a little bit on the quiet side.
Ford Delta Victor, you're overhead the field now. Do you not have insight?
Yeah, we just caught sight of it. We're just going to call you. What I'm going to do is a short left base, and then we'll just do a low approach and a left pattern, if that's okay.
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 Center United 405.
As long as you know what you're doing, buddy. As long as you know what you're doing and you're not hitting any other airplanes, it's probably all good with him.
9405, Chicago Center, reset chest winner squawk 1342.
1342 for United 405.
So we're not supposed to...
55 descend by the Fight 6 arrival over altimeter.
We're not supposed to pass 13,000 until we get to that next fix of Colesby there, so which is 10 miles away.
Delta 1160, Chicago Center, hello.
Also supposed to cross that one at 270 knots, so we'll see how that goes. Alright, but doing good here. Life for regional pilot, you're up, you're down.
13 and 74, turn left heading 080, join the runway 5 localizer.
Left 080, join the runway 5 localizer, Delta 1374.
Lindbergh 4455, descend by the Fight 6 arrival over altimeter 2975.
Send by the Fight arrival 2975, Lindbergh 44.
Alright, 270 is the next speed here at Colesby.
For Delta Victor, you can report turning final for runway 25.
We'll report a final 255 for Delta Victor, thanks.
Chicago 3004, contact Chicago, approach on 125.7.
Approach 125.7, Skywest 3004, good 8. Oh my god, I hate this 833 kilohertz spacing. Chicago approach, good evening. Skywest 3004 with you, 12,700 ascending via the Fayette 6 arrival information Lima.
Skywest 1304, Chicago approach, expect ILS 927 right.
Expect ILS 27 right, Skywest 3004. just don't need much of a descent rate to hit these next couple of targets.
204, turns right, heading 090.
0901, 5204.
Oh, starting to see it come into view there. It's not great, it's dark, but it's there. We should be able to spot the airport pretty well from here when we get a little closer, and then it's going to be good. You guys have got a really nice night approach into Chicago. Should be good. You'll be able to spot the other airplanes out there as well really well because you'll be able to see everything at night. Ever so slightly so fast. Such a finicky airplane. You're constantly just tweaking the throttles, just trying to, the power levers, just trying to make something happen. You're constantly also just playing with the vertical speed, trying to follow this this path right here.
2435, fail.
Oh, it's cleared out nicely now. Beautiful. Beautiful. Now, I'm just going to kill the gamma for a second here. I just want to see how it looks if I kill the gamma. Let's see if I do that, and then I go turn you off. It's dark, but you can still see things out there. You can see the fact there's roads, there's highway intersections, there's things like that. It's a little bit dark. I might turn it back on and just like at a lower level. Try that just a little bit. That's kind of a nice balance actually. I think it's, you see a little bit of something, but it's not like washed out anymore. I like that. That looks good. Okay, there we go. Trying to find that. What am I trying to say here? Past Fayette. Oh, we're supposed to be 250 knots at Fayette. But yeah, trying to find that nice balance between, making it bright enough that you can see something outside and not so bright that it's like it's washed out and ugly and everything. And this is that, I think we really kind of struck a nice balance there. That looks really good. All right, there we go. We're capturing. And so that's Chicago down there, obviously, and the airport is somewhere not too far away. But we're going to have to go and do the downwind for 27 right, so it's going to be a nice long downwind there. Hey. And then the question will be, do we have another hour and something leg in us? I feel like the answer is yes. I'm looking for a little consensus from the people watching this channel if you think we got the push to get to Charlottesville tonight. You can be my dispatchers. My crew schedulers. Oh, you can do it. You're not tired, are you?
American 4522, Chicago approach.
I'm surprised we haven't seen any other traffic yet.
28 center, say altitude.
28 center, 15.7.
Surprised we're not seeing any other airplanes out there, but I guess most of them are going to and from the south, so as we get closer, we start turning final, we'll probably see lots of airplanes on final for the other runways. I know we're not all that far from the airport. I'm just trying to figure out roughly where it is here. It'll probably leap out and suddenly be obvious to us here. Yeah, it's going to be almost at our 12 o'clock, so I wonder if this dark spot right there could be the airport. It very well could be. So usually how you find dark spots at night is, or how you find airports at night is you look for the dark spot. So that spot there could be it. Could even be this spot right up in front of us here. It could even be this right here.
Chicago approach.
We're just gonna suddenly we're gonna be there. We're gonna trip over it.
American 3222, Chicago approach, say altitude, Lima, Tomato, hail, let me know you have Lima.
Currently bouncing 16,800, American 3222.
American 3222, expect ILS 927 right approach.
Let's use my American 3223.
I'm going to get rid of myself here for a second, because this could also be a nice title card right here. It's just like the night approach into Chicago here.
Chicago approach, good evening, Delta 2343 is descending through 13,400 to cross hold 12,000 with Lima.
Delta 2343, contact Chicago approach 119.0.
19-0, 2343.
SkyWest 3004, descend, maintain 7,000.
Descend 7,000, SkyWest 3004. We're just going to give them the even 1,000 feet per minute, because at this point, oh, there it is right there. You can start to see all the parallel approaches right there now. This really is, like at night, this is a beautiful sim too. That's one thing I like about this sim a lot, is just the night flying. I think the night flying is fantastic in this sim. Looks really good. Hopefully I'm not picking up too much speed.
Chicago approach, American.
Lots of beautiful screenshots here.
06 arrival.
Yeah, no, we're doing pretty good. 250 still.
Through 14,000.
American 14-0.
Alright, there's 10,000, so let's get lights on. Seatbelts on. We don't have an approach check, so that's it. Just lights on, seatbelts on. Yes, I have. Probably, I don't even know how many times I've flown to Chicago here. 100 times probably. Well, maybe not 100, maybe 50. It's been a lot. It is a crazy place. It's a lot. Now you guys can start to see maybe the airplanes out there. There's an airplane right there. There's an airplane right there. You can start to see some airplanes on the ground. It's a busy place. It's so crowded, especially around the terminals. Extremely crowded. Yeah, probably one of the worst lineups I ever waited in was at Chicago O'Hare when we were waiting to depart 28 right from November 5, and we had to taxi all the way down to the departure end of the runway to get in line. 42 plus airplanes. We lost count after 42, but there were at least 42 airplanes in line for takeoff for that runway. We were about 45 minutes to an hour, I think, getting airborne off that runway after we got in line. It was ridiculous.
Chicago United 405, crossing fire.
Milwaukee, Chicago Executive right there.
United 405, heavy, Chicago approach.
And look at how close that is. Like, Chicago Executive is to Chicago O'Hare. So there's Chicago Executive.
Alright, we'll pick up Lima now.
And there's Chicago O'Hare. So
the
long runway here is north-south, so you normally do the arrival from the north. And then if you miss, if you even get close to the runway without saying you have the airport in sight, they make you turn around and go back. You have to have the airport in sight from like 2 miles back, or they won't let you continue to approach. Because you can't go past the airport. You can't miss the airport and keep going south. You just can't. You're way too close to Chicago O'Hare over there.
United 405, heavy descend, maintain 6,000.
And now we're seeing lots of airplanes on approach. I don't know how well you guys can make them out there, but you're seeing the green light more than anything. Which is funny because like normally that green light does not stand out. That green nav light is so weak in the dark. The red one's not too bad, but the green one you never really see in the dark. It's just a weak light. It's just a weak color. And yet that's showing up so clearly in the sim here.
Delta, correction, American 4522, descend, maintain 7,000.
Sorry, just adjusting my track IR one more time.
SkyWest 3004, contact approach 124.35.
Approach 124.35, SkyWest 3004, good 8.
Chicago approach number 4455.
Chicago approach number 4530 with you at 4,000.
Skywest 3004, Chicago approach, descend and maintain 4000. Power 204, contact O'Hare Tower 128.15.
Wasn't us, was it? Wasn't even listed close enough.
20.15, good day.
Approach low Skywest 3004, 7000. Nope. Doesn't care about us. Approach Skywest 3004, 7000.
Skywest 3004, Chicago approach, descend and maintain 4000.
Descend 4000, Skywest 3004. It wasn't, that might have been for us. I wasn't, because I hadn't checked in, I wasn't expecting a call, so I was not listening
Chicago approach,
closely.
Lindbergh 4530 with you at 4000.
Lindbergh 4530, turn right, heading, make that 270.
Right 270, number 330.
There we go. Got another one coming in there over the lake. Gonna get heading mode ready because we can't make that turn. That after him go, we're supposed to just continue flying this heading. Ready with heading mode, so we got the heading mode.
4530, clear direct Harry to join the runway 27 right, the ILS runway 27 right approach.
Direct Harry.
That was a little bit of a weird,
right, ILS approach.
ambiguous. Ambiguous call there. Strange. Alright, just looking to see my TCAS, because I should be able to see some of these guys on TCAS soon, you would think. Maybe not.
Skywest 3004, turn right heading 180, vector to approach.
Right turn heading 180, Skywest 3004. Yeah, man. Round and round it goes. Jesus. Not quite there yet, but it's close. There we go. Alright, 180. Let's get this cleaned up here, so go from Waylay. Well up.
Skywest 3004, 5 miles from Harry, turn right heading 250, maintain 4000 until established, cleared ILS runway 27 right approach.
Right turn 250, we're clear for the ILS 27 right. Say again the altitude to maintain.
Skywest 3004, 4,000 feet.
4,000 feet till established and clear the ILS 27 right, Skywest 3004. Okay, we're going a little faster than I had planned. I don't know when that speed built up, but that's okay. We'll actually start getting the speed back now. And we are cleared for the approach, so we'll arm the loc and collide slope. There we are. There's the altitude capture, which is good because that'll help us lose a little bit of speed here, and we'll start getting this airplane configured. Just had to get it below 230 knots here. We lost the glide slope. There's the loc again. We're just out of range. We got a bunch of targets on the TCAS now. Alright. There's 220. We can actually go as low as 183 without dropping the flaps here. We can reset this.
Chicago approach level again, Southwest 229, 100 heading 5000. Southwest 229, sorry about the go around, descend and maintain 4000 as the vector's ILS runway 27 right approach.
Yeah, it's all good. 4000, never set up for 27 right, Southwest 229.
Yeah, a bunch of airplanes on the TCAS now. Now it's getting a little hectic out there.
Lindbergh 4530 at Harry, cleared ILS runway 27 right approach.
Put myself back up there. I forgot I'd taken myself out. Alright, we're getting a little slower than I anticipated. I want to do about 180 knots till we get to Sibley. back in there. Let's go flaps 1.
Chicago approach American 3222, level 7000.
American 3222, Chicago approach, welcome to the show, maintain 7000, O'Hare altimeter 2975.
Alright, glide slope's alive.
2975, 3222.
Get a little sore from just trying to hold the track IR in position sometimes. Got some other airplanes on the arrival behind me there. Right downwind. Here comes one for the other from the south side. There's a lot of airplanes around here now. Alright, there is glide slope, and the missed approach altitude of 4,000 feet is set. And sorry if I'm being a little bit quiet and kind of anti-talkative now on stream here, but the sterile cockpit exists in the real world for a reason, especially now that I'm single pilot here. There's a lot going on. The radio's not ridiculously busy, so I'm able to kind of tune it in and out, but...
Ladies and gentlemen, we are about to land. Please notice the cabin lights have been turned off, as this is a normal procedure for a nighttime landing.
VREF is 136 knots.
Chicago approach Delta 1347, 4000, heading 090.
Delta 1347, Chicago approach, correct vectors ILS, runway 27 right approach, O'Hare altimeter 2983.
Hey, Squibbly, nice to see you. Glad you're here. Sorry to be going without you, but I'm thinking we're going to do the next leg. So you want to boot up your sim here in Chicago? I think I'm going to head to Charlottesville next. I'm feeling it tonight.
229.
So if you want to boot up your sim and meet me at the gate in Chicago, I'm going to be over on the golf concourse, and I'm going to head over to Charlottesville next.
Skyway 3004, contact O'Hare Tower 120.75, see ya.
O'Hare Tower 12075, Skywest 3004, good 8.
Southwest 229, turn right heading 180, vectors, yep.
Alright, let's go ahead, gear down. And flap 20. Chicago Tower, good evening. Skywest 3004, ILS 27 right over Sibley.
Skywest 3004, O'Hare Tower, hello, V O'Hare, wind 270 at 4, runway 27 right, clear to land.
27 right, cleared to land, Skywest 3004. 27 right, cleared to land. Alright, we got the gear down. Let's get the thrust reversers armed. Let's get flap 30. And VREF is, what is it? It's 136, so we need 141 is our target speed here. And flaps 45, 46. Flaps 45. Landing checklist. Don't let the speed decay, add a little bit more power. Alright, before landing checklist, flight attendant, cabin crew seats for landing. Passenger signs are on. For some reason the frame rate is going to 0 here. Thrust reversers are armed. Landing gear is down, and flaps are flap 45 indicating. Before landing checklist is complete.
I had a short disconnection.
Yeah, it's fine.
O'Hare Tower, good evening, Delta 2343 is ILS 277.
Delta 2343, O'Hare Tower, hello.
I'll put this behind me because it's a little bit easier to see.
27 center clear for land.
27 center clear to land, Delta 2343.
Just a little bit fast. But yeah, stable. There's the target speed of 141 right there.
400.
Nice. It does seem like they fixed the glide slope issue with the last update in the CRJ, because she flies this glide slope pretty well down now.
300.
Pitches down every once in a while to a weird thing, but for the most part she flies it pretty darn well down about 200 now.
200.
Lindbergh 4530, O'Hare Tower, hello. Your number 2 following a CRJ over the numbers, wind 280 at 4, runway 27 right, clear to land.
Clear to land, I'm keeping on the CRJ, Lindbergh 4530.
10.
American 1022, we're ready to push back. American 1022,
Yeehaw.
tower pushing to ramp your discretion, call for taxi. Pushing ramp, our discretion will call for taxi, American 1022. American 4522, O'Hare Tower, you on?
Yeah, we're up there 4522.
She's a little squirrely sometimes.
4522, O'Hare Tower, hello, wind 280 at 4, runway 28 center, clear to land.
Runway 28 center, American 4522.
Well, good evening, Chicago Tower, Wisconsin 2821. We're going to be with you at Hotel 16. Wondering, is there an ATIS up right now? Because we're not getting one. You know, that was the thing I forgot about a Wisconsin 2021. There'll be one up in a second. Thank you, Wisconsin 2021.
Please remain seated until the
Skywest 3004, clear of 27 right.
Skywest 3004, thank you. Cross runway 27 center at Zulu. Hold short of runway 27 right.
Cross 27 center, Zulu short 27 right, Skywest 3004. Alright, Zulu's this taxiway right here. So just keep on going. I'm just pulling it up on my other screen here. Alright, and in the meantime, we can get an after landing flow going here, so we can kill the landing lights, which of course makes it nearly impossible to see outside. I'm going to leave that center light on because it's nearly impossible to see outside with just the taxi lights.
2343 O'Hare Tower, roger. Left turn on Echo, cross runway 22 right, then right turn onto Alpha 1. Hold short of runway 27 left.
And, oh, strobe.
I'll need that.
There we go. I think we got it all.
Roger, just let me know when you're ready. Central aircraft O'Hare, disinformation, my current altimeter 298 frame.
Alright, now for the 15-minute taxi in at Chicago O'Hare.
That's a 2343 cross, runway 22 right on Echo, then right turn Alpha 1, hold short of runway 27 left.
Alright, let's just make sure the after landing check is done. APU, we're leaving it off for now because we got a long way to the gate. Transponder is staying on. Flaps are up and 0.
405 heavy O'Hare Tower, hello.
Lights and strobes are
runway 28
set.
Clear to land.
And probes.
Clear to land, 94 heavy.
That's what I forgot.
Southwest 229 O'Hare.
Southwest 229 just had a
nope, I took the window heat off to the
Southwest
probes.
229 O'Hare Tower, wind 280 at 4, runway 27 right, clear to land.
Kind of need an FO to do some of these things here. Okay.
Tower Delta 116 with you for the 27
Oh, for crying out loud.
Last aircraft calling safe position.
There we go. Okay, got it. Stupid sometimes. Alright.
That's 1116, and I'll have you on radar runway 27 center, clear to land, wind 280 at 4.
Now for the most exciting part of flight simulation. 20 minutes of taxiing into the gate.
Chicago Tower, Spearwing 635, ready for taxi.
Spearwing 635, O'Hare Tower, runway 22 left, taxi via Alpha 15 November Victor.
Alpha 15 November Victor to 22 left, Spearwing
there we are.
635.
Crossing 27 center, short 27 left.
Join Zulu, cross runway 27 center, hold short of runway 27 left.
Join Zulu, cross 27 center, and holding short 27 left for 403.
Chicago Tower, American 3223 on the last runway 27 right.
American 3222 O'Hare Tower, wind 280 at 4, runway 27 right, clear to land.
Clear to land 27 right, American 3222.
Alright, so here's
Sorry, who's the aircraft calling?
Delta. We're going to be coming up to 27 center. There's the signs for 27 center. You can see them there. We're getting there.
28 center. We're at Pedestal 11 for parking.
American 4522, roger. Continue on Papa.
Cleared across 27 center.
Hold short of runway 28 right.
Papa left Echo, hold short 28 right, American 4522.
Strobes on.
Delta 2343, cross runway 27 left at Alpha 1, then taxi via Bravo Alpha 2 Alpha.
I will cross 27 left at Alpha 1 and then Bravo Alpha 2 Alpha to the gate for Delta 2243.
KFSD-04, cross runway 27 left on Zulu, taxi via Juliet Tango, Juliet Tango, Tango 7 Alpha.
Okay, cross 27 right, then Juliet Tango, Tango 7, and then Alpha for Skywest 3004.
Southwest 229, join Zulu,
Clear
cross
on the
runway
left,
27,
cleared
hold
to
short of runway
cross.
27 left.
Nope. That was just a little short for the other direction, I think, wasn't it?
United 405, welcome to O'Hare, right turn Papa, left turn Echo Echo,
Nope,
hold short
it
of
is.
runway 28 right.
Right, Papa left, Echo Echo for United.
Yep, that was it. That was the runway.
Car, American
Yep.
1408, inbound ILS.
Juliet should be the next one, I believe.
1408 O'Hare Tower,
Nope, that's
1280
hotel.
at 4, runway 28 center.
Then
clear to land.
Juliet.
28 center, clear to land, 1408.
O'Hare Tower, Delta 625, request taxi.
Delta 625, runway 22 left taxi
Still
via
got about another
Alpha,
mile or
Lima
so of taxiing to do
November
here. It's
Victor.
ridiculous taxiing at this bloody airport, I tell you.
To do left via taxi with Alpha.
Especially if
Lima
you land on that
November.
north runway, you're so far from the bloody terminal. And the way around is like all the way around the outside.
American 4522, cross runway 28 right at Echo Echo, hold short of November.
What's even worse is if you land the other direction, you land on 9 left, you actually have to taxi all the way back to the same taxiway, back to Zulu taxiway to get around all the construction. It just takes like a year to get around this bloody airport sometimes.
Delta 1347 O'Hare Tower, reduced to final approach speed number 24 miles and trail of a CRJ 700, wind 280 at 4, runway 27 right, clear to land.
Alright, let me just make sure I didn't even get the strobes on for that crossing. Kind of a little bit disoriented.
22 plan minimal time on the runway. I've got a Boeing 737 with a 40 knot overtake, 3 miles and trail of you.
Roger that, 3323.
Phil does not sound happy about that. There's a steady stream of arrivals onto these runways, though.
Number 4530, cross runway 27 left at Zulu, then taxi via Uniform Tango 7 Alpha.
Cross 27 right at Zulu, then Uniform Tango 7 Alpha for 4630.
American 4522, continue taxi
A
via
little
Echo
fast to make
Echo
this turn here, but
Victor Alpha.
it's okay. We'll make the next left here on Uniform. We'll get there. Just takes a little while.
Southwest 229, cross runway 27 left
This
at
is
Zulu,
Uniform.
taxi parking via
I'm gonna take this to cut over to
Tango
Tango.
7 Alpha.
I got the chart up on my other screen, thank God, because otherwise I probably would have no idea where I am in the dark. Like in the dark, even with signs, this
Uniform
place
Tango
is
7
amazing.
Alpha.
Trying to taxi around this place, single pilot.
Oh, I see. Uniform Tango 7 Alpha, Southwest 229.
It's just, it's too much for a pilot to really be able to do the single pilot. It's just such a confusing airport layout.
36 O'Hare Tower, expect PDC. Clearing 635, wind speed
So many
04 on
taxiways.
departure fly, heading 180, runway 22 left, cleared for takeoff.
Alright, heading 180, 22 left, clear for takeoff, wings 635.
So Tango 6. Now Tango 7 on my chart doesn't look like it continues across Tango, but anyways. We're almost there. Be curious to look at how long
229, I'm going to Terminal 5.
this taxi actually took here.
Southwest 229, tower taxi by Uniform
It
Tango
definitely has
7,
been long.
Bravo Victor.
Uniform Tango 7 Bravo Victor, Southwest 229, good night.
O'Hare Tower, Lindbergh 4455, 27 right.
Lindbergh 4455, O'Hare Tower, hello, wind 280 at 4, runway 27 right, clear to land.
27 right, clear to land, Lindbergh 4455.
Alright, here's Tango 7. So this is where we cut over to Alpha, which is the next taxiway. Somewhere here, there it is. I gotta go around basically to Alpha 12 to get to Golf Concourse. Lord. Don't come to Chicago if you're in a hurry, that's for sure. There goes departure. Alright, we're at Alpha 8. We gotta go all the way around to Alpha 13, essentially. So just gotta go around the United Concourse here, past the hotel. Past, this is the Charlie Concourse. And then we need to go past the Echo and Foxtrot concourses.
Delta 14 for correction 1347. Welcome to O'Hare Taxi via Zulu. Cross runway 27 center. Hold short of runway 27 right.
Zulu cross 27 center.
Oh, it's very realistic. There's people's vehicles just cutting us off. Super realistic. It happens in real life all the time in Chicago. They don't care. One airport that I really have to say, like, I have
35 contact departure.
big issues with the way that airport is managed because they really, safety takes a backseat to performance every day at that airport.
Fly heading 180, wind 2804, runway 22
And
left.
there's not too many airports where I can really say that. Most of the time, safety is a paramount concern, and then service and schedule obviously come after that. But for some reason at O'Hare, right from the people who run the airport down, the Chicago Department of Aviation does not give a hoot about safety. All they care about is just getting airplanes launched and getting vehicles crossing corridors, and they just don't care if vehicles are cutting off aircraft and whatnot. They don't care. I've complained multiple times, and they just do not care.
3170.
Alright, so we're looking for gate Golf 18, which should be here on the corner.
American 405, cross runway 28 right at Echo Echo, hold short of November.
Cross 28 right, Echo Echo for United 405 and short November.
Air Wisconsin 2021, we fixed the squawk code. Air Wisconsin 2021, runway 22 left taxi via Alpha 15 Bravo Victor. Give way to East Southwest 737 right to left on Bravo.
I'm just trying to spot the line here for this gate. Perfect, right here. Love it. Right where I need to be. And lucky enough, the gate is empty.
Ready to taxi with Mike.
American 1022
I wouldn't leave the lights on this long, but
runway 22 left taxi via Alpha 15, hold short of Bravo.
Alpha 15.
Just trying to spot the line as best I can. No marshers to blind here, anyways. So.
American 1022, we have an aircraft apparently.
American 1022, give way to them.
Giving way to aircraft, American 1022.
Just trying to spot since I don't have a marshaller.
American 405 taxi
pretty
via
good job.
Lima, hold short of Bravo.
You can see it on the paint there.
405, heavy give way to the southwest 737 left to right on Bravo, then taxi via Alpha.
Giving way to the southwest and Alpha after Bravo for United 405.
Lindbergh 4455,
There we go.
welcome to O'Hare taxi via Zulu, cross runway 28 right, hold short of runway, correction, cross runway 27 right.
Alright, parking brakes
27
set.
hold short of runway 27
APU's
left.
on, which means we can do...
Alright, taxi Zulu, cross 27 center, we'll
come
hold
on, you
short
can do it.
27 left, Lindbergh 4455.
That's why, because it was just very slightly in reverse. And we're actually supposed to kill those. And what we should also probably do is throw on the dome light. There we go, so you can see a little something. Alright, and yeah, we got the fuel low pressure, so that's good. So let's get that shut off. And there we go. Alright, beacon. Seat belts. And that's basically it. Call for the door.
American 1022, runway 22 left taxi via Alpha
Chocks
15
in.
Bravo Victor.
Ground power connected.
Alpha 15 Bravo Victor.
And let's see if we can get Pushback Express to bring that bridge over. Here it comes, nice.
2021 gave way to be United 767 right to
And
left
that's
on
it, so
Lima,
that should be flight complete. Let's just check, yep, it looks like current flight page is complete, and the next leg is over to Charlottesville. How fast can we plan this up, and can we get out of here in the next 15 minutes or so? What do you guys think? Should we do one more leg? Who's up for one more leg?
Rickyard 4880 free, O'Hare Tower, wind 2804,
Let's go
runway
ahead and open
27 right, clear to land.
Hold. Because I feel like we could do one more leg.
47 cross, runway 27
Request fuel
center
truck.
on Zulu, hold short of runway 27
Request
left.
baggage and request catering. And we should have, there we go, we've got the AC power available. However, just because of the heat here, it's 29 degrees still at night. It's hot and sticky out there. I think it's going to be a
21 traffic no longer fact.
keep the APU running kind of turn here.